Tiantaiguanqi Toyota's Highlander. This is such a car that once had a very powerful aura, and it is necessary to increase the price for one degree. Such a state, of course, was also determined by the supply and demand relationship of the whole market at that time, because in the environment at that time, on the one hand, he had an advantage, that is, Toyota's reputation was very good, and secondly, its hold price was short of 7-seat SUV models like it, so it was determined that it was in short supply. There is also a certain degree of discount. What we are currently talking about is the price range of its 2 or 4 models, ranging from 249,800 to 348,800. The discount range is about 20,000 to 30,000. That is to say, its entire entrance, the bare frame, has reached 210,000. Anyway, at this price, you may not think that the current Highlander has any particularly obvious advantages, so why can you buy more than 8,000 units of this car a month? The key point is that it is now equipped with a 2.5-liter dual-type hybrid system from the entry-level machine, so its biggest selling point now is stability and fuel economy. Then in terms of body size, the length of the car is 49.65 and the wheelbase is 28.50. In fact, if it is a medium-sized SUV, the Highlander is actually good in terms of data and space performance, but as far as the current market environment is concerned, the whole price of Highlander can actually get stuck a lot. His lux space, so it depends on how you compare it, and then in terms of tires, the entry-level model and standard is 18 inches, and then the mid to high version is 20 inches come to the Highlander's car. If you start from a practical point of view, you will find that I think a lot of thought has been spent on the design of the whole city of Harbin, such as the layout of this entity by piece and the excavation of this storage space, including the opening of this Hansu box and the whole storage space after it is opened. The whole shape or color matching, especially for some young users, may not feel that it is such a popular appearance nowadays, but for users who really want to buy this car, everyone is pursuing practicality. I think the layout of the whole car is very reasonable and easy to use, and I think it has advantages and disadvantages in terms of specific configuration. What are its advantages? The entire series comes standard with L2 level driving assistance, which is adaptive cruise with full speed range, and then some active safety configurations. So what are the disadvantages? That is, the configuration of the entry-level model is indeed very low, but for users who have sufficient budget or have practical needs, I suggest that you just remove the entry-level model directly and then the specific version. Highlander is first divided into 5 seats and 7 seats, and 74 is divided into 2 zones and 4-wheel drive. The price of the latter is more expensive, and then the configuration of the corresponding versions is almost uniform, so we directly remove the entry-level elite version of the 3 models. Leather, manually adjustable steering wheel, 12.3-inch full performance instrument, 10.25-inch central control bottle, keyless entry, leather and imitation leather seats with electric adjustment and heating functions of main and auxiliary frames, and folding of exterior rear-view mirrors. Heating. What about the Highlander car? In fact, it is very simple to choose. Let's first determine the 5-seat and 7-seat versions and then determine the driving form. Then the most cost-effective version is its luxury version if your budget is more sufficient based on this version just added above. Then in terms of power, it has 2 sets of powertrains, one of which is its dual-type version. It is composed of a 2.5-liter natural gas engine plus a 1 CVT gearbox and a front-mounted single motor, while the other is a pure fuel version, which is formed by a 2.0T turbocharged engine and an 81T gearbox. In fact, what is the most obvious structural difference between the 2 versions? In terms of 4-wheel drive, because the dual-type version is formed by a front chamber motor and a rear motor, such an electric 4-wheel drive version is such a traditional de facto 4-wheel drive with a central lock. Due to the 4-wheel drive system, the pure fuel version is definitely better in terms of the overall 4-wheel drive capability, but I would still recommend everyone to buy its dual-type version. Why? Because the version of Schonkin will be better than that of pure fuel in terms of fuel economy in the whole form and texture. In addition, Highlander is actually such a car with very strong household attributes, so for Highlander, 4-wheel drive is not just driven, it is not a special key. In addition, as I said at the beginning of my program, in fact, Highlander is now such a medium-sized car at this price. Its 7-seater space performance reward of SUV can't be said to have such an obvious advantage, but with this double-type system, the whole stability is very prominent in the whole fuel crystal reliability.